Hey guys, and welcome to yet another fantastic Total War Warhammer 3 Domination Showdown. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, but today we're going to be looking at my first community cast for Warhammer 3. And what do I mean by that? I mean you guys there watching today can submit replays to be cast on the channel, and today we have our very own Papa Palpatine bringing the force of Kislev up against Khorne. It's certainly going to be an absolute legendary scrap. It's a very close game with some rather exciting units for us to highlight, so let's delve into this. For the forces of Kislev, we have some Kossar spears just dotted through the front. Cheap, cheerful, just quite happy to be here and pit down their lives in the name of the motherland. One of my favourite things about Kislev in general is the fact they're so multi-utility. These guys having spears as well as bows makes them quite useful and deadly indeed. In the back we have double STRELTSI. STRELTSI, fantastic unit, axe-wielding gunman. That's quite a statement on its own, but they do so much long-range damage, plus having pretty decent melee stats, coming in with some AP as well, because of course they are wielding those axes. 19 missile strength doesn't seem absolutely crazy, but 140 range, they can really pack quite a punch. I've been having a lot of success with them over the recent couple of games I have been playing. We have some War Bear Riders, of course. The beautiful bears of the Bear God do look fantastic as always, being led by the Madman, just spitting bile, venom, and blessings in the name of the Urson, the great Bear God of Kislev. We're in a rather un-Kislev location. It looks like he's on crusade at the moment. Coming in with Urson's Roar, we have the Song of Winter Sunlight as well, so going quite heavy here with a lot of abilities and items. We have the Lullaby for the healing and the Battle Hymn for the extra melee attack. All the glorious stuff. He's bringing the Courage of Sacrifice, the Blaze of Devotion. Okay, he's really going ham right there with quite an expensive Lord pick. We are on one of my favourite maps, and lurking, stalking in the trees is the evil forces of Khorne, who have been on quite a rampage since the game has been released. Looks like people have been enjoying them quite a bit, with a Herald of Khorne leading the battle line. He's going to be coming in with the Hellblade, as well as Gore Feast, the Totem of Endless Bloodletting, and Revel in Slaughter. Quite powerful abilities in general. We have some Spawn of Chaos. We have a Bloodletters of Khorne, as well as a load of Chaos Warriors of Khorne just dotted through the mix, one of which is a unit of Halberd. So pretty exciting stuff, and really cool to see the Herald of Khorne on the back of the Shrine of Khorne itself. One of the most rock and roll models in the entire game, as it's just going to be retreating for now, as most of the Khorne forces look to actually be hiding in the trees. Perhaps a little bit worried about the range prowess that Kislev is bringing to the battlefield. Plus, of course, a load of War Bears, and War Bears in general can be a little bit scary. Very excited to see how the STRELTSI perform today. They're the unit I want to highlight most because I think they're being a little bit undersunned so far. A lot of people have spoken about War Sleds, big War Bears, and a load of other cool stuff that Kislev can bring, but trust me, the STRELTSI are certainly no joke. Now, they're not the quickest unit in the game, so I like seeing two of them deployed in the early stages of the battle here. Looks like we have some armored Corsairs as well, who can move up to help aid and support. But yeah, the STRELTSI coming in against Khorne, who are relatively fast with Hounds and Fury play, but you can obviously shut down a lot of their armored troops with your long-range guns. It seems like the War Bears, as well as Consultine, are going to be vibing out onto the left-hand side, moving towards Objective 3. We still have a minute and a half left before any of the objectives do actually become active. Looks like some Flesh Hounds of Khorne have been summoned to the battlefield for the forces of evil, moving up towards Objective number 1. Going to be very excited to see how these players play. Papa Palpatine, very experienced tournament player in Warhammer 2. Wonder how he's going to adapt to coming into play in Game 3. Some more armored Corsairs going to be moving up as well. Looks like we have the great weapon variety. That's, of course, going to help out with some decent AP. And it looks like Khorne biding its time, not really knowing fully what to do, just waiting, trying to summon as many reinforcements as possible before going for a big push and rampage into the middle nonetheless. But this is allowing Kislev quite a lot of time to set up a defensive formation. War Bears are riding up and down the front line, screaming oaths of vengeance that they will reap upon the forces of Khorne, and just allowing the armored Corsairs to get into position is going to be quite risky play by Khorne in general. They're waiting patiently though for the objectives to become active. Flesh Hounds of Khorne are hiding in the trees. Objective 1 shall be theirs in the early stages. Looks like the Spawn of Khorne ready to jump onto Objective 3 if need be. So a nice splitting tactic from Khorne as the rest of the army simply waits and lies in ambush. But I do hear the war horn of arrival. It is going to be a Skull Cannon plus some Furies, which I believe will signal this true start of the battle as the objectives are just about to become open. Kislev holding at this nice tight little pass. Loads of spears here, loads of pistols, bows, and guns. It's going to be quite a nightmare to break through. We do have some winged lancers being summoned who can move up to contest Objective 1 alongside Constantine and the War Bears. Fleshhounds definitely do not want to reveal themselves at the moment. And it does seem like Khorne has decided now is the time, now is the hour. To war we march, blood for the blood god, and skulls for the skull throne. Corsairs are lining up shots against bloodletters. A big fan of this. Bloodletters, very susceptible to missile pressure, only 30 armor. The Hell Cannon is going to be reaping some shots down the line of the Corsairs. Plus, we have Chaos Furies being summoned. STRELTSI getting ready to unleash hell upon the enemy. And Bloodletters are really taking quite a pounding now. Hell Cannons, I've noticed, don't have the best long-range accuracy. Better at that kind of mid-range. So you definitely need to move forward. Up on the high ground, yeah, the War Bears easily going to be able to overwhelm the Fleshhounds and secure Objective 1 there. Objective 2 is already just about to be taken by Kislev. No, it seems like Khorne actually able to fight back a little bit here. And this is quite a nice tactic in general from Kislev. It's like, you don't worry about the objectives immediately. Sit back, do the damage, and then move in afterwards. You can see the Herald of Khorne is eating a load of shots from the STRELTSI, who are raining down at death from afar. Armored Corsairs moving up to fight. We do have some Furies dancing down to try to shut down the STRELTSI themselves, with winged lancers nearby and the mighty axes on the butts of their guns. STRELTSI aren't that scared of those puny little Furies, and bowfire is being unleashed upon the enemy. Chaos Warriors pushing through the torrent of bowfire and pistol fire, though. STRELTSI really lining up some decent shots now. They've taken a couple of poundings from that Hell Cannon, but they are laying it on thick to the Chaos Warriors, starting to do some pretty impressive damage here in the middle. Up on Objective 1, it does look like Kislev were able to secure this flank, overwhelm the Fleshhounds, and probably cap Objective 1. Objective 3, though, looks like those spawn of Khorne we saw earlier. Nice placement by the Khorne player, has been able to take over Objective number 3. STRELTSI continue to pile on the pressure. One unit is constantly getting shut down by Chaos Furies, so once again there are winged lancers to counteract this, which I like quite a bit here. And now the STRELTSI are really laying it on thick to the Chaos Warriors, who are doing a decent job though, beating down the Corsairs in the front. Winged lancers and the armored troops attempting to hold the objective, and you can see a big ticket kind of advantage already going in favor of Khorne. Skull Cannon is out of ammunition, only up to 24 kills for its troubles, is now going to move in, and it does some pretty wild animations as it flips around, sending Corsairs flying in all different directions as it spurts fire. The damage is pretty, not huge, but it looks cool, and that's all that really matters. Middle objective is still being held by Khorne at the moment, as Spawn of Khorne do move in to help intercept the winged lancers, and it seems like the War Bears and Constantine now know they're needed in this main fight down here. Objective 1 is being held by Kislev. STRELTSI continue to pour the pressure into this big old soup bowl of blood and death, and the War Bears roar victorious as they come for a big fat charge. Ursun's roar goes down, Winter Sunlight goes down, the battle hymn goes down, the hills go down, literally everything as the Bears clatter into the enemy. Should be enough to overwhelm what seems to be some skull crushers in the middle with the Spawn of Khorne. Should be a good fight there for the Bears, apart from the halberd unit, of course. Now, STRELTSI are being shut down. The Herald of Khorne has dived into the back there to try to finish them off, but some lovely crossfire coming in from their brethren, and it seems like the Herald of Khorne himself may actually go down here, despite the fact he's managed to get into the back line. Some Zargard were summoned by Kislev, who forced themselves upon the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Very close game so far. More Chaos Warriors continuously being summoned here by the Khorne player, including some Bloodletters. This is a really smart pick. They're relatively fast, and they'll be moving up to contest Objective 1. And though I would argue Kislev has done a bit more damage in the middle, map control has certainly been better for Khorne, as they've contested the middle and gained the flanks rather successfully. Herald of Khorne gets lit on fire by the STRELTSI, and he explodes whilst crashing into the side of the mountain there. Lovely shots do come down the flank, though, by the Skull Cannon, and that's probably going to be enough to help break the Zargard, who are holding on rather bravely and actually dispatching quite a few Chaos Warriors. You can see the amount of dead bodies on the ground. The thin line of Zargard did a decent job, and if only they can hold here, that would allow the STRELTSI time to finish off the Skull Cannon, which is currently eating a Death Frost to the face. Warbear Riders doing a decent job here, once again dragging down Skull Crushers, dragging down Spawn, but with more halberds on support, it looks like their Liege Lord Constantine may indeed actually go down here, but he is rather tanky. Winged Lancer's going to reeve forward, start applying a bit of pressure to the Warhounds. Maybe also want to come over here and say hello to the Bloodletters, but Fury's been summoned. It'll be quite problematic to hold on to Objective 1, and a big dominant ticket lead so far for the forces of Khorne. And they bunch up around the Warbears, and we have a Sorceress on the field. The mighty Frost Maiden of Ice drops down the Heart of Winter, an upgraded version of it, and this is going to be some disgusting value. Constantine was forced off just as he gets the heal. He's also healing up these Warbear Riders, and the spawn, the halberds, all of it goes down to a wintry grave. We do get a summon of Bloodletters on the field from the Cultist of Khorne, who's been chased away by the Tsar Guard. The middle objective really needs to start getting contested a bit more, though, by Kislev to claim it. Constantine's moving out to the flank. We also have some winged lancers over here, which is a good play. Capture objective number 3 and get yourself back in the game, because I think damage value-wise, Kislev has done a fantastic job with a nice overarching view of the battlefield. There's not that much on the field for Khorne realistically, compared to the Kislev forces at the moment, who have just summoned even more light war sleds into the action. Their Lord's alive, Khorne's Lord's dead, but they still have over 1,000 ticket advantage at the moment. STRELTSI, they killed the Lord, now they've killed the Skull Cannon. You can see it exploding in glorious gouts of blood and fire. Middle objective is now starting to be taken back by the forces of Kislev. Light war sleds are even over the enemy. They need to get back here, though, because without them, it looks like Khorne are just about holding on. Tsar Guard doing a decent job in the middle. Cultist of Khorne and Spawn of Khorne going to be going down. Constantine does dive in on top of the Chaos Warriors, and now we have lots of shots really doing decent damage to the Bloodletters before they disappear. Of course, they were naught but a summon. So objective 2 is slightly turning in favour of Kislev. Objective 3 has been secured. Warbears are rallying to the winged lancers, and up on the high ground, objective 1 is, though, unfortunately in the favour of Khorne. Currently, it is a triple cap to Khorne, which is really scary stuff. Light war sleds moving up to help contest that, and the STRELTSI have done so much damage all day. It might be worth taking them off the field now because they're so beat up and trying to resummon them, but they are holding in the name of Kislev. Constantine charges into the Fleshhounds, plus we have light war sleds just running over so many troops, and a fantastic job continue to plow forward. You may have halberds, but we have bears, and bears are scared of nothing, pushing their way through and drowning their enemy in ice and vengeance. Constantine looks really quite beat up right now. He's getting very close to his healing cap. We have a Death Frost go down on the Fleshhounds. A decent play there. Objective 2 does seem like it's going to be forming in favour of Kislev as more and more armoured Corsairs start to move onto the objective, though the Frost Maiden is rather beat up. Objective 2 is well and truly not quite green. I was about to say well and truly green. It is currently Cornfade. It's being captured so slowly by the winged lancers, but there we go. Objective 3 for Kislev. Objective 2 for Kislev. Objective 1 still for Khorne. Now, the light war sled's doing a decent job here, running over the Bloodletters. With effective micro, they shouldn't take too much damage and should be able to secure this objective, at least you would hope. We do need to see some infantry up here, though, to capture a little bit quicker. So Kislev dominating the battlefield at the moment, just far superior forces on the battlefield. Cultist of Khorne does look like he's going to be going down here. Winged Lancers still can push in, and the STRELTSI do finally get dragged off. They've used up a lot of their ammunition and a lot of their HP. Kislev seem to be in a dominant position, but only 1,000 tickets left for Khorne to win, and it looks like the Khorne player's done a decent job. He's not summoning just one unit at a time. He's summoning an army in one go, which is definitely the way to do this. We have Chaos Warriors, and looks like just Chaos Warriors with halberds coming in alongside Chaos Warhounds. That is quite the fighting force. Now, I would mainly focus on the side objectives. This is just too meaty a Kislev kind of lunchbox to crack open. STRELTSI about to get jumped by the Chaos Warhounds, but counterpunch comes in from the light war sleds plus the winged lancers. The STRELTSI themselves could probably handle a couple of mangy mutts, and it looks like the Warhounds get broken very, very quickly as more Chaos Warriors do start to push into the middle. Up on the high ground, objective 1 is still being contested by the Bloodletters. Really lovely play, just clinging onto this one objective by the Khorne player, dragging down the light war sleds slowly. It does seem like the light war sleds should be able to win this fight, though. Can we see the Coast Khorne just relocate up into the high grounds here? We need any kind of unit to apply a bit of pressure, but it seems like more winged lancers are on the approach, looking for that juicy triple cap. A lot of the Kislev forces have been dragged into this middle fight due to the fact there's a load more halberd pressure in, and that has freed up objective 3, which is currently not being claimed by anyone, and Fleshhounds bound across the battlefield and hop on top of the objective. They squat in, and they are certainly marking their territory. Corsairs move forward alongside their armored brethren and the winged lancers. Somehow Constantine is still fighting. Incredibly durable character with the ability to heal himself. He just does not like dying whatsoever. STRELTSI being forced into hand-to-hand combat up against the elite warriors of Khorne. They're doing a decent job, of course, while supported by the winged lancers, but it is going to be a bloody affair indeed, and it seems like a lot of the winged lancers are barely clinging on now, just fighting in the name of the motherland to keep themselves stable as more cavalry just slam slam into the flanks of the halberds, which is all good and well, because Objective 2 is Kislev's, Objective 1 soon will be, but Objective 3 is starting to fall away. 4,580 tickets for Khorne, only 2,600 for Kislev. They have to triple cap, and they have to triple cap now. Objective 1 shall be theirs. A load of infantry has been summoned. We have a load of Corsairs, as well as more STRELTSI being brought back on, but a lot of these forces, they're heading the wrong way. They need to rotate round to Objective 3, otherwise it could be claimed from them. In the middle fight, Frost Maiden doing just consistently good damage all round with her magic, up to 82 kills. Very impressed with her, particularly one of her earlier casts. And the Streltsy pinning back all of these halberds as long as physically possible. A lot of the Kislev forces are wavering and starting to crumble and break. Objective 3 is going to be falling to the forces of Khorne. Chaos Warhounds plus Furies in this scrap, alongside looks like another unit of Flesh Hounds. Warbear Riders attempting to assist and stop them, but they've simply been overwhelmed by sheer number and weight of evil. Streltsy, as well as Armored Corsairs, is going to be helping claim Objective 2, which is looking very safe right now. War Sled's going to be moving out to Objective 3 as Armored Corsairs move up to Objective 1. So currently, it is a big fat triple cap for Kislev. 3,200 tickets, or 3,300 to 4,800. Can they hold on long enough? Wing Lancers come crashing down on the halberds. The middle is certainly looking good, but Objective 3 is where all the action is at. So many Flesh Hounds here. The Warbears, who were resummoned onto the battlefield, doing a decent job pulling their way through the Flesh Hounds, but they are outnumbered 3 units to 1. Light War Sleds do come in. Is that going to be enough to hold this victory location for Kislev? It does not look like it is. Going so slowly in the favor of Khorne. The Warbears start to run off. Flesh Hounds, though, are disintegrating, and Chaos Furies, they count for naught when it comes to capturing objectives, but it looks like victory point number 3 has been captured by Khorne. Light War Sleds may be able to chew through all these Warhounds, but I don't know if it's going to be in enough time. 4,900 tickets for Khorne, 3,900 for Kislev. Streltsy secure in the middle once again. Bloodletters going down in their droves, but they do not care. Blood for the Blood God. They care not where, if it's their own blood or the blood of Kislev. At the end of the day, all of it works out pretty good for Khorne. Now, Objective 3 is getting applied a bucket ton of pressure. We have Corsairs on the way, Warbears on the way, and Light War Sleds cleaning up the enemy, but Khorne barely cling on. One more minute in the game, maybe. One more minute. Kislev get the triple cap, and I think it's almost no way Khorne managed to get it back off their hands, because Kislev all battled in so much more damage than Khorne, really ripping into them quite hardcore style, but in the end, objectives are everything. And I believe this was Papa Palpatine's first ever game with Kislev. Very impressed with how he performed there, and I've also noticed, I had a quick look at the leaderboard, and he's already into the top 100 players, so big shout out to him, been an absolute beast as always, but he does fall today. Constantine was a true tank, though, just absorbing so much damage. 1,000 gold value on him. I'm all about the Streltsy, though. 2,500 gold value on one unit, 1,760 on the other. Assassinating the enemy general, assassinating the Hell Cannon, and being an absolute staple in the middle of the army, keeping everything together, raining shots in, and being quite durable in combat at the same time. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. I will delve into the gold value and damage dealt in just a second, but if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as well for more Total War Warhammer content into the future, and comment down below what you thought of the battle. Bucket ton of links in the description. If you would like to see your videos up on the channel like Palpatine's was today, join my Discord. There's a link down below, and there's a replays for casting section there. That's also, I'll be doing announcements for live streams and so on. There's Patreon down below, Twitch down below, all this awesome stuff. Now, streams, they're going to be a lot shorter recently. I had a surgery like a couple of days ago, and I basically cannot stream at the moment, pretty much. I can barely make videos, unfortunately, for the next couple of weeks. But we'll get through it, and hopefully I'll find a way to get at least some streams in as the recovery continues. So thank you for bearing with me on that. I need to do a lot more bear puns when we are playing as Kislev, or at least watching Kislev replays. And thank you for everyone who submitted replays so far. I've got some insane ones. Got an awesome Cafe Zinch one coming up next, and a load of good stuff into the future. But let's delve back into this battle. So Constantine, or Constantine, however you want to say his name, an absolute raid boss, 56 kills. Not the best gold value, but his durability certainly helped out of all those buffs. I wouldn't recommend bringing him with quite so many of his toolkit. You can make him a lot cheaper and a little bit more viable. 2.5k damage value on the Warbears. Impressive performance by them, 95 kills. The late summon nearly able to claim that far objective, but getting dragged down by the Hounds in the end. Streltsy, 2.5, 1.7k value, really lovely stuff, 51 and 29 kills. Corsairs, 620, 350 and 400 value on them. More kind of unit cappers than actual damage dealers, so they did decent work to the Bloodletters in the early stages of the battle. 977 gold value on the Tsar Guard. Pretty impressive work there. 1.5 on the Frost Maiden. Some lovely casts. 84 kills. An absolute powerhouse in the mid to late game. Light War Slids, 1.6k, 823 as well, gold value on damage dealt, 97 and 83 kills. And the Winged Lancers, 870, 370, and 512 value. The Armored Corsairs, mixed bag, kind of mid-hundreds. The highlight there being 984 damage value. For the Force of Khorne, the Herald of Khorne's not a bad pick whatsoever, particularly against Kislev. I feel like the big demons can struggle because they get kited by the sleds rather effectively. They're big targets and they don't have healing, so it was nice to see the Herald of Khorne in action. He did get his ass absolutely eviscerated by the STRELTSI, unfortunately. Still got 800 value and popped into the back while he could. Chaos Warriors of Khorne, 92 and 80 kills with 1,176 and 870 gold value. Of course, were summoned multiple times, however, Bloodletters, 700 value on them, 1.4 on the Spawn of Khorne. Pretty impressive with how they were able to capture an objective and then rotate back to the middle. Chaos Warriors of Khorne Halberds were summoned multiple times, got just shy of 4,000 gold value, which is absolutely absurd. 2,100 on the Flesh Hounds. Oh, it's disgusting. The Colours of Khorne didn't do too much. 770 on this unit of Chaos Warriors. Any other standouts? I don't think so. We saw Skull Crushers of Khorne, which did a decent job. 1,187 gold value on them, but they were shut down rather successfully from the War Bears. Skull Cannon just needs to get a little bit closer before it starts shooting. It's a decent unit. You can't fire at its max range. It will not be very accurate. Still got 970 gold value on it and 94 kills. 2.4k on the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. My god, the Halberds is an absolute shift today. Furies as well, 2,000 gold value on them, summoned multiple times into the battle, just applying as much pressure as possible onto the enemy range troops. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was a good fun cast. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.